Hello.
Morning. How are you?
How are you? Very good. And you?
No complaints.
Good.
No complaints.
Oh, you know something? I'm going to leave and start again because for some reason, it doesn't let me control the
Oh,
recording. You can stay on. You can
okay.
stay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I think it's.
One sec. 1 second.
Turning.
1 second.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
1 second. I'm just dealing with a patient.
Okay.
Be patient.
One second, guys. 1 second. Okay. We are on Ches Amar Aleph.
Yeah.
Ani choyma zu Torah. V'shadaika migdalos elu tamei chachamim. So it's another pasuk that refers to a different drasha. Reish Lakish used that pasuk to say that tamei chachamim don't have to contribute to the tax to build a wall around a city because they don't need shmira. They don't need protection because they have protection from Hashem. So why didn't Reish Lakish use that pasuk? Reish Lakish several kedidorish rava. Because Reish Lakish darshan that pasuk differently. Ani chomazu knesses Yisrael. V'shadai kamedalos elu batek knesses batek midrashes. What is the Chayma refers to Klal Yisrael, and Shadai kamedalos refers to their shuls. They protect themselves with shuls and yeshivas. Rav Nachman bar Rav Chizda Rami Karga Rabbanan. Rav Nachman bar Rav Chizda levied a tax to help build a wall. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Amarle Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Avarta the rights of the Nevi'im ad the Ksuvi. You violated what's written in the Torah, in the Nevi'im, and in Ksuv. Ad writes Ksiv, Av chovev amin kol kedoshav biyadecha. What does that mean? Amar Moshe Avnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono shel Olam, afilu b'shar she'ata mechavev amin. Even though you find favor to the other nations and you're allowing them to rule over Klal Yisrael, kol kedoshav, meaning the tzaddikim, the Talmidei Chachamim, you biyadcha, you will protect them, and they're not viewed as if they're under the shlita of other nations, and they don't have to participate in the tax. Vehem tu kula raglecha. What does that mean? Tana Rav Yosef elu talmidei chachamim shemechatetim ragleim me'ir le'ir medina l'medina l'motor. They move their feet from city to city and to go find the best yeshivas. Yisami dabrusa chalisa v'litem b'dabrusa shemakom. They debate the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ad Nevi tichsiv gam kitnu bagoyim ata kabtseim. That means I'm going to hold you back from having to give taxes to the officers. Amar Ula, it's written in Aramaic that Yisnu really refers to Yishnu Yilmadu. Gam kein Yishnu bagom. If they're going to study, itanu kulu. If Klal Yisrael as a whole learns, ata kapsem, I'll gather them in. And if only Ma'at Mehem will learn, they will be potter from paying the taxes to the officers. Ad Ksuvi, it's going against what's written in Ksuvim, in Ezra. That Kohanim Levim don't have to pay these taxes. Tax to the king. Balu Zukus of Golgotha, head tax. Ba'alach Zuarnuna, that's the occasional tax that has to be paid. Anyways, they'd be part of all of it. Rav Papa Rami Kari Charita Ayosmi. Rav Papa demanded, they were digging an irrigation ditch for a spring for water, and he collected money even from the estate of the Yisomim. Why should you take maybe money from them? The Yisomim may not draw water from there. We'll take money. If they never take money from the well, we'll give it back. To build the wall around the city, we collect even from Yisomim, because the Yisomim need protection. But the Chachamim don't need protection. So they don't pay that tax. Akol lekaye pasya, digging a well for water for the city. Everyone pays. Afilu meirabanan. They have to drink water too. V'lo amarna lo nafki bachlusa. That's if they're just paying money. They're not physically going out and digging. Aval nafki bachlusa. But if everyone is being drafted To go and dig, the Chachamim don't go, they don't do manual labor. Rav Pasach Oitzrois B'Shani Batsoris. Rabbi opened up his storehouses when there was famine to give to Aniyim. Amar Yichdesu Bali Mikra, Bali Mishnah, Bali Talmud, Bali Halacha, Bali Agoda. Everyone who learns should come in. Aval Ame Aretz Al Yichdesu. He didn't want to give stuff away to the Ame Aretz, the unlearned. Dochak Rav Yonasan ben Amram. Rabbi didn't recognize him. He pushed his way in V'nichnas. Amar Rabbi Parnaseni. He asked for money. Amar B'ni Karisa. Have you studied Psukim? Amar lo. So Shanisa, have you learned Mishnah? Amar lo la. So Im came to Mafarnas, like, why should I give you money? Amar le Parnaseni Kikelu Ko'erev. Listen, I'm no better off than a dog or a bird. And they get food. So Rebbe was emotional. Parnasa gave him staka. Basar Denafak, when Rav Yonasan went out, Yosef Rebbe v'kom mitzdarv, Amar, Oilish nasati pisi la'amaretz. And he, woe is to me that I gave my bread to an amaretz. Amar lefan of Reb Shimon ben Rebbe. Rebbe's son, Reb Shimon, told him, Shema Yonasan ben Amram Tamilcho. I think this was Yonasan ben Amram, your Talmud. Sheina Rotzilanos bekovet Torah miyamav. He didn't want to benefit from the fact that there's a Talmud Chacham. But Kuvashkach, they found that it's correct. So Amar Rebbe, he can't call. So Rebbe changed his rule and said everybody should come in because you never know, they might be Talmid Chacham. Rebbe l'tamei, the Amar Rebbe, ein puranas bolo olam, ela b'shvil amei aretz. Bad things happen in the world because of amei aretz. Ke'ahu d'mei klila, there was a certain tax, the Shadow Tveria that was levied on the city of Tveria. Also, Kamei the Rebbe v'Amrlei leis v'Rabbanan Badon. The people of the city that had to pay the tax said, "Let the Chachamim contribute." Amrlulo, Rebbe said, "No, nothing doing." Amrlei Aruknin, okay, then we're going to run away, and you will have to pay all the tax. Rebbe said, "Amrlei Arukli, don't threaten me. Run." Akru Paga, half of them ran away. And the Leva Palga, so they abolished half the tax. Now, the other half of the population had to pay the tax. Also, on Palga Kamei the Rebbe. The remaining citizens came to Rebbe Amrlei Leis Rabbanach Bahadon. Please participate. Amrlu Lo. He said no. So they said, Arukdin, we're going to run away too. Rebbe said, Aruku, go run. Aruku Kulu, so the whole city ran away. Pashahu Koivis, there was one launderer who stayed in town. Shadya Koivis, the whole tax came down to the head of this launderer. Ara Koivis, so the launderer ran away. Meanwhile, Poka Klila, so the crown got rid of the tax. Amar Rebbe Reisim, Shein Pronas Balon Bishul Ameretz. Once the Ameretz we got rid of them. There's no more tax. Then the Mishnah coming Ir. How long do you have to stay in the city to be considered that you have to contribute to the building of the wall? We said 12 months. V'reminu hachamarta v'gamalta. The donkey caravans and the camel caravans. How iveres b'makom l'makom, that travel from city to city. V'lona b'socha, and dwells for a period of time in the city. Now, if they dwelt in an Irani Dachas is a city that everybody worshipped Avodah Zarah. You have to kill them with a sword, and all their assets are destroyed. So, if they slept overnight in that city, and v'hutcha imoyen, and they worship Avodah Zarah, hein beskila, they're not treated like dwellers of the Irani Dachas. If you're a private person who worships Avodah Zarah, you're killed with skila. If you're part of the Irani Dachas, you're killed with sword chopping off your head. These people, Mamoin and Paula, they don't lose their assets like an Irani Dachas person. If these caravan people stayed in the city for 30 days and then it became an Irani Dachas, then they're viewed like Anshe Ha'ir. They're killed with the sword and they lose their money. Here it says only 30 days. Our Mishnah said 12 months. Amar Rav Eloi Kasha, Halabei Masa. To be considered Anshe Ha'ir, 30 days. To be considered Toshavei, Hala Yusuvi Masa, one of the citizens, then you need 12 months. Kiritanya. Hamudar Anoam Anshe Ha'ir. Person takes a vow. I'm not going to benefit from the people who are called Anshe Ha'ir. If you've been there for 12 months, you can't benefit. Now, if you made a neder miyoshvei ha'ir, so that requires less amount of time. So anshe ha'ir is like toshavei ha'ir, and yoshvei ha'ir is less. It's just 30 days. Do we need a person to dwell in the city 12 months? Not Tanya. Somebody who dwells in the city shloishim yom, so he has to pay the tamchui. The tamchui was the organization that fed poor people, like our
Shabbos.
like Tomchei Shabbos. Shloisha Chadoshim, then they have to contribute Lakupa, which is like community fund for Aniyim, for Tzedakah. Shisha Liksus, you have to contribute for clothing for Aniyim. Tisha Likvura, you have to pay into the Chevra Kadisha. Shnei Masar, Lepaseh, then if they're going to do a collection to build walls, then you have to be there for 12 months. Our Mishnah was talking about building walls. When they're collecting to build a wall, you collect even from Yisoni, but not from the Chachamim. The Rabbanan don't require Shmira. For a wall, for like horsemen, and for guardsmen, you collect from Yisrael. The Chacham don't have to contribute to that. Klal de Milsa, what's the general rule? Kol Milsa the Islu Anomine, Afilu Miyasme. Something that they benefit from. Then you have to collect even from Yisrael. That's like water. And even the Chachamim benefit, then they have to contribute. Rava Rama. Stoka. Ayasmi Debay. Adebay Bar Marya. Rabba assessed a levied a tax even on the Yisomim of Bar Marya. Armalei by Vatani Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda in Poiskin Stoka Yisomim. Afilu Pidyon Shmuel, you don't collect stock of money from Yisomim even for redemption of captives. They're not chayv mitzvahs. Amarlei, anolach shavinu koavidna. I wanted to raise them up, the Yisomim, in the eyes of the people, to give them kavod that they're important people who give a lot of tzedakah. Ifra Hurmiz, Ema Deshvor Malka. Ifra Hurmiz was the mother of King Shapur of Persia. King Shapur ruled from 309 to 379 CE. Shadra Narnika de Dinri Lakame. She gave a purse with a lot of money to Rav Yosef. She was donating it to Jewish causes, and she told him to use it for a great mitzvah. Yosef Rav Yosef Akama Ayinba. Rav Yosef didn't know what she was referring to. My mitzvah rabbah. What big mitzvah? That you don't collect stock from Yisrael, even for Shmami Noah, keep Pidyon Shvuim, mitzvah rabbah was used as an example of a great mitzvah. Where is the source that the Chachamim refer to Pidyon Shvuim as a great mitzvah? Amar le dichsiv. Pasuk in Yirmiyah. Vayaki Yomru Elecha, Anan Eitzei V'Amart Aleim Ko Amar Hashem, Asher Lamavis Lamavis. He who is destined for death will die. Asher Lecherev Lecherev, who will die by the sword for the sword. Asher Lerav Lerav, who will die by famine. And Vasher L'Shevi Shevi, who will be taken prisoner. As we move down this pasuk, it becomes worse. Cherev kashmi maves, dying by the sword, having your head cut off, is worse than just dying. How do we know that? Iboisem akrov, iboisem svara. Iboisem svara, haikam invaikol minvel. When somebody cuts off your head, it degrades the body. Somebody who just dies a regular death, that doesn't happen. That a regular maves is easier. Raw of kasher mecheret. Dying of hunger is worse than dying of by the sword. Because I come and starve, I look and starve. Somebody dying of hunger is very painful. The corpses of a cherev were better than the corpses of a rav. In prison, you can have hunger, you can have the sword, and you can have death. You have all three. Torah Kupa shel tzedakah nigvis b'shnayim. When you go out and collect money for aniyim, you shouldn't do it with less than two people. Umislakachas b'shloishin. It's given out no less than with three people. Nigvis b'shnayim she'ein oisin shroros ala tzibur pachas b'shnayim. Collecting money, you have a certain power over people, and therefore, shror on the tzibur, you must have at least two people. Now, mischalekes b'shlosha, because kidinim ominous, like having a bestin. They have to decide who gets, who doesn't get, and how much. Now, tamchui, the Tomchei Shabbos food bank, nigvis b'shlosha, there, even the collection needs three. Umischalekes b'shlosha. Why? Shegvuya v'chaluka shavim. Shegvuya v'chaluka shavim. Tamchu b'chol yom. They're collecting and giving out food every day. So you need a third person to help out distributing the food. Kupa, the community chest, you give out money Erev Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. It's not daily. It's every Friday, once a week. Tamchui is lani oilam. Any ani that comes to the city, it's appropriate to give him food from the Tomchei Shabbos. Kupa, but the community chest is rak lani yair. It's just for the poor people of that city. U'rishoyim b'nai ir lasos kupa tamchui. You can use the community chest money to help finance the tamchui, to feed aniyim. And the tamchui, bekupa, you can, money that you collect for the tamchui can be transferred over to the kupa as well. And they can change and give out tzedakah the way, based on the need. Then Rishonim b'nei ir la'aslos al hamidos. The people of the city can make a t'nai on what kind of measurements. Do they want to use scales, electric, balance, v'al, and they can weigh in on the price, the standard price for wheat, for milk, or al schar poilim, the minimum wage, ula'asi al kitzosoin. So that's the Baraisa. Amar Mar. Ein oisim srois al tzibur pachos mishnayim. You don't make leadership over the tzibur less than two people. It says by the Mishkan, v'hein yichus hazahav. Who's the hein? It's plural. They have to collect the money. Plural. Sroras hushalo abdi. Okay, collection has to be two, but to be trustworthy, even a yochid could be trustworthy. It's not lack of nemanus. It's just a cloud that a yochid shouldn't have srora ala tzipur. Rabbi once appointed two brothers to run the community chest. Now they're relatives. They're not believed to give edus against each other. It's not an issue of edus. You have to have two people. Now, how do you define my sararuso? Why is there srora here? You can go into someone's house. If everyone has to give tzedakah, this guy's not giving, you can go and take a mashkon. Afilu be'erev Shabbos, even on erev Shabbos, when people can claim I don't have time, I don't have money, doesn't make a difference. I will remember the deeds of those who are oppressed. If they force people to give the tzedakah, they're considered loichatzim. Loikashahada amud means if somebody's wealthy, you can collect from him even against his will. Hadaloy amid, then that's considered loichatzeh. Yihad Rava Akpel Rav Nasan Bar Ami, Rava forced Rav Nasan Bar Ami, who was wealthy. Shakabinei Arba Me'azuzi. The tzedakah took from him 400 zuz for tzedakah. Then it says, "V'maskilim yazhiru k'zohar rakia u'matzdike arabim k'choy doniel." What does that mean? "Amaskilim yazhiru k'zohar rakia zedayan shel dinamis lamito." That a judge who, through his clarity and seichel, rules justly. U'matzdike arabim k'chovim la'olam va'ed. Elu gabay tzedakah. That they provide tzedakah for the tzibur. The maskilim, both of them are dayanim and gabay tzedakah. According to this version, what's the matzdike rabim kechavim lo'elam v'oed? Elu melamde tinoikos. Kindergarten teachers. Kigon man. You can't call every kindergarten teacher kechavim lo'elam v'oed. Amrav kekon Rav Shmuel Bar Shilat. Why? Rav Ashkechet Rav Shmuel Bar Shilat avakom beginasa. Rav Shmuel was in the garden. Armelei shavke lem nusecha. You're out in the garden. You're leaving the Talmidim alone. Armelei hatlei shani lochazil. It was 13 years that I haven't seen this garden. So you see how dedicated he was to his teaching. Hashanami daitola. And even now that I'm in the garden, I'm thinking about the children. Rabbanan Mai, what do the Chachamim say about the use of these psukim? Ravina v'ohav ketzeis hashemesh b'gvuroso. Talmidei Chachamim, who study all the time, they're considered oihavav ketzeis hashemesh b'gvuroso. Torabbanan gabay tzedakah enu Hashem lifrosh zeh mizeh. They can't separate from each other. They have to go together. Avol Porish, Zel Shar, Zel Chanus. Now, one can go into the gate and the other can go into the house. Matzamos Bashuk, Lo Yidnei B'toch Kiso. If you see money in the market that he thinks he can keep, he shouldn't put it in his pocket. Because we don't want people to say he's a ganef. You put it in the arneki shel tzedakah. When he gets home, the shavuot betu yitlem and take it because he found it. So they shouldn't suspect him that he's keeping stock money for himself. Kiyotzebo, haya noisha b'chaver mana. Somebody owes him $100. Uparo b'shuk, and the guy paid him $100 in the market. Lo yitnenu l'toch, you shouldn't put it in his pocket. People will think the guy giving him $100, giving him stock, and he's keeping it in his pocket. Ela noisel zoch arneki shon stock. He puts it in the pushka. Ulachshiyav lebeso yitlam can take the $100 out when he gets home, when no one's looking. Tarabanan. Gabait stock shelem anim lechalik. Let's say they've collected money. There's no anim. Part-ton. Lacherim. If people gave them copper pennies, so and they want to switch it over to silver, so they can't do it by themselves. Like they have to go to other people because it'll be looked at self-interest. Very important lotsman. They don't make change for themselves. Similar, if the Tomchei Shabbos has food, but there's no aniyim, they sell it to other people. They can't buy it themselves. People will say, oh, they made a good deal for themselves. When you count money, you got to count one coin at a time. To be very careful with the cheshbon. Rabba, my Rebbe, would not sit on the mats of the shul because they were bought with stock of money. He thought he would be nana from it. Tanya. Once he heard the Baraisa, so that they can decide to use the money for whatever. Yosef, then they decided to use it for this purpose. I can sit here. Rabba would have two wallets or pushkas. One for general poor people, one for the city. That you can move around money. He made a t'nai on the one thing. And all the money could go into that purse. Okay, tomorrow we can learn at 8:30 because there's no tzvika shir. Okay?
Thank you very much.
8:30.
Happy 4th of July.
Or do you want to do it earlier? I mean, people maybe you want to watch fireworks.
Yes.
You want to do it at 5 o'clock? You want to do it at 6 o'clock?
There's soccer tomorrow.
Say it again?
It's soccer I want to watch tomorrow.
So you tell me what's a good time for you guys.
For me, it would be good at 5, to be honest.
Abe, is that good for you? Abe?
5 works for me.
Okay, let's do it at 5.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
See you.